So what if you were the coach of a professional soccer player and you told he or she that you can make millions and millions of dollars if they learn how to score lots of goals, but you didn't teach them how to score goals? How much money do you think they make? So what if you're struggling with AUD, alcohol use disorder? Everybody tells you you got to quit drinking, gives you lots of theories, but no one shows you some practical ways to quit drinking. So today on the WINS Life Hacks and Life Coaching channel, myself, Casey Turton, a certified life coach and more than 2 years sober, are going to talk about how to deal with cravings. And that's really one of the key points into a journey to sobriety. You know, I've heard myself say, and many other people, that there's a certain time of day when my cravings hit. And that could be at the end of the work shift, when you finally get home, right before you go to bed, whatever. It's individual to yourself. And that means that your brain is putting out those signals that we need that dopamine rush from that alcohol, but it's not reminding you about the horrible hangover you're going to have the next day. So because you are aware of those triggers, anticipate them and ask yourself, excuse my English, ask yourself what you can do to combat them when they hit on their predictable pattern. So let's take a look at some ways. So let's pretend that you're at home and you know the liquor's in the liquor cabinet and you're getting a craving. So what can you do? There's a really simple technique that if you practice this, you're going to get good at it, and that's called mindfulness. And so what I do when I feel a craving coming upon myself, and a craving is like an automatic robot way, to just walk over and pour a drink without thinking about it. So you got to stop myself. I have to stop myself and do what we call mindfulness, which is just basically either standing or sitting and relaxing and closing your eyes or keeping them barely open and just feel where you're at. Listen to the birds chirping. Feel yourself seated in a chair and capture the moment. Don't think about anything else. Let the craving pass through you like a wave out on the ocean. Let it come in and go out. Don't fight it. Don't get anxious. Don't get upset. Just be mindful. That's one step. Let's try some more. So we can feel when cravings come on, but what triggers it? Everybody's different. For me, myself personally, I get triggered to drink if I have a really great day, celebrate. Something good happens for myself or my family. Some people get triggered by distress, being upset after a fight or some conflict at work. So there's a technique called journaling that you learn a lot about, and I do, and it's basically grabbing a cheap old notepad from Target or some other store, getting a pencil, and writing down your list of triggers on the left side, and on the right side, what you're going to do when you feel those triggers. So for example, I'm upset. That's a trigger. What am I going to do? I'm going to practice mindfulness, or I'm going to deep breathe, or whatever technique helps you to deal with that stress and that trigger. And once you start to do that, and you start to understand when the cravings are happening, now you're putting a complete picture together for yourself. This next piece of advice can be a little touchy. And the reason being is because when we drink and we socialize, we get buddies, right? And those buddies are our drinking buddies, and our relationship is determined by alcohol. But yet, social support is so important to recovery that we need friends and relatives and acquaintances and associates around us that understand our journey and support us. We don't need people saying, well, you tried this before and you failed, so you're going to fail again, so here, have a drink. Or why aren't you celebrating with us? This is weird. Come on, we're out here partying. You should party too. So like everything else, like you're preparing for your cravings and your triggers, you prepare your social support mechanisms. And that could be a group, an online group, or AA that's close to you, whichever fits your personal philosophy. But surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals sometimes requires actually breaking old social connections as you step into your new life. This next one helps us create distractions, creating distractions for ourselves when we feel those triggers coming about. So what's a distraction? For myself, for example, A distraction is for me to physically remove myself from my surroundings. I mean, get up and go for a walk, go for a drive, go to a movie, just change your environment. If I'm out with a bunch of people after work and they want to stop at a restaurant that serves alcohol, you know, it's hard to get distracted. But by the same token, you need to say, okay, most of that drinking is going to happen after the meal. So I'm going to distract myself by telling the folks, hey, I'm sorry I can't stay, but I got to go, and you leave. Or you distract yourself with some other constructive activity you could do, like a new hobby you pick up. I like cooking. Cooking keeps me active and gives me a dopamine high because I get to taste something really good afterwards. And now that I'm on more or less of a diet kick, I stay away from all that sugary stuff too. So now I got double reward, okay? Not drinking and losing weight. So that's cool. 1-2 power pack. So those are a few things you can try with your cravings, but I want to reinforce the fact that, you know, I'm not a alcohol or drug dependency therapist. I am a certified life coach, and I can help you develop daily plans that help you cope with alcohol. But if you're in an extreme state of distress or alcohol consumption or physical damage created by alcohol, you better get in and see a physician, a licensed drug therapist, and get into a program to help yourself. Because the longer you've been imbibing that poison, the bigger damage it's done to your brain, your spirit, your emotions, and your physical body. So if you're interested if you're interested in my services as a life coach, go to www.wellnesscompassinc.com, or simply like and subscribe to this channel, where I'm always providing content on any issues that'll help us be a better person. So in the meantime, see you in the future.